This video tutorial is going to look at how different fonts can be used on our website, and also the limitations of font types on our websites, and also look at sizing and spacing of text, and the use of text in general on our web pages. So in one of our previous tutorials, we had styled our banner text here using a style in our style sheet, our external style sheet. And when we had gone into that style, you noticed that we didn't have the full selection of fonts available on our computer. In fact, I'm going to pull up the style for the banner, and let's revisit it and take a look at it. And to go back in and edit a style in Dreamweaver, you simply highlight the element you want to look at, and you can double click on the CSS styles panel. Actually, you don't even need to highlight it. You could just go right into the rule here, and you can see here's the rule for heading 1 inside the banner. And if I just double click on that, it pulls up the page that shows the rule definition for the heading 1 or H1 text in the banner. And I had chosen Arial Helvetica Sans Serif as my font type. And if you pull up or click on the pop-up menu for the different font types, let's just take a look at what Dreamweaver offers here and discuss it for a moment. You'll notice that at the very top we've got Verdana, Geneva, Sans Serif, and then Georgia, Times New Roman, Times Serif. So you'll notice right away that the majority of these fonts fall into either a sans serif or serif font families. Sans serif meaning without serifs, and serifs are the little ornaments at the end of letters, and you will be able to see a serif here in a moment when I switch from a sans serif. So sans serif means without serifs, and serifs are obviously fonts that have serifs. So if I switch, for example, to Georgia Times New Roman serif and click apply, and you look up here, you notice that the letters have these little serifs or ornaments at the end of them. So the little tops on the W there, and the little serifs at the bottom of the F here and the R. These are serifs and make this particular font part of the serif family. But just to revisit this one more time, what we're doing here when we choose one of these families is we're saying in the style sheet that if I've chosen Georgia Times New Roman Times Serif, I'm saying when the user pulls up this web page to first of all use Georgia as the font if that exists on this machine. If it doesn't, then go to Times New Roman. If that doesn't exist on the machine, then use Times. And if Times doesn't exist on the machine, then search for the next serif font and use that to display the page. So that's what these family sets are all about. And once again, remember that it's unlikely that if you choose sometimes if you choose an exotic font that you've installed on there, it may not reside on in fact it's likely not to reside on everybody's computer that will be viewing your website. And so some people are going to see the page and it'll look different than what you intended it to look like. So that's the discussion about the font families. The second discussion I want to have is in terms of font size. And we've chosen 36 pixels here. And you notice that we do have points, we do have inches, centimeters, and other options here that we can choose from. That we'll look at some of these other options down the road. But the reason I'm choosing pixels, and I would advise you do that, is that this allows the browser window to resize when the user uses either Command plus or minus, or on a PC, or Command plus or minus on a Mac, or Control plus or minus on a PC, that the text will incrementally get larger or smaller as the user resizes it. So that's a brief discussion on fonts and font families and size of the fonts. So now that we're done with that, we can click OK and exit out of there. Now, what if we wanted to use a custom font on our banner, and in particular, we want to add more of a graphic element and make our banner stand out a little bit more than this. In that case, we're going to want to use an image editing program like Photoshop and create a graphic element for the banner. And so the next tutorial, we're going to cover two areas, which is using a graphic and adding a graphic into our banner, but also adding a font, our own custom font that we want the user to see when they get to our website.